Oh, are you excited? You excited? It's becoming the catchphrase of the channel. What the hell is 2025? I'll tell you what it is. It's too much winning. Are you tired of winning? I'm gonna again. I mean, just look at that title down there. That is, have you ever seen anything more beautiful in your life? Project has been cancelled. What more needs to be said? If you want to gratuitously rub it into them like Sky News did, enemy of my enemy, how good is this headline? Actually, it was more of a mercy killing than an axing. Oh man, I'll tell you, I haven't felt this alive since BuzzFeed was cancelled. Bam! And this was just BuzzFeed television. Eat shit, you soulless corporate woke hacks. It's so, oh man. Oh, dude, I feel so alive. Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, look, this, if you are a new viewer, just so you know, Friendly Geordies, along with our unlikely friends over at Sky for the past 10 years, have been pointing out consistently, for obviously different reasons, that the project has to be the most egregious piece of shit that has ever been put to air on Australian television. And that includes that old 3D puppet with the big fucking head from back in the day. This was worse. This was so much worse. It was all right when it first started out. You know what I mean? It was kind of just behind the news for people on the NDIS, you know? Like, it was just BTN for adults. All it was just, we're having a light-hearted jab at the news today, and oh, look, a duck fell over. That's fine. I honestly still think it'd be running to this day if they just kept with that original Rove format of, here's some shit-safe commercial jokes, right? That was absolutely fine. Then, in 2016, we're just going through a catalogue of what happened here, yeah? 2016, they really did prove the old adage of go woke, go broke. That was just, honestly, guys, commercial television, and they still haven't learned their lesson, we'll get back to this soon, but commercial television, can you please understand this? You are not allowed to have any ethics at all. You are not allowed to have a soul. That is not your realm, okay? I'm sorry, but if you get to have your nice office overlooking the fish markets in fucking Sydney, you get there by selling it. Yeah? That's why you're fucking there. You do not get to moralise over the rest of Australia. I mean, can you just imagine how egregious of a show that is? It is the ABC with ads. Oh, it was vile. It was absolutely vile. And so that's when we started covering it, going like, is anyone else noticing this shit? This is absolutely fucked. What the fuck is this crap? This is pathetic. This is people on $2 million salaries sitting there and just being like, that's actually quite Islamophobic. It's like, f*** off, you know, like, dude, no, I'm so sorry. This is not what you get to do. And I think that all of Australia started cottoning on then. That's when because it just became so culturally egregious. The deeper thing that we were talking about the whole time is it's just like, yeah, they've got this like air of like quote unquote progressivism in the minds of execs, yeah? Which they do have that ideology. That is a big reason why the project has been kept on for so long, despite it just being this endless ratings bomb into the ground. It was this really incredible limbo stick of how low can you go? And it got pretty fucking low. Really. Like any other show that was getting those kind of numbers would have been canned years ago. Years ago. I'm talking even a decade. It has not been going good ever since those days, right? Like it did the same little burst that the rest of corporate Australia went through, where there was just that big like SJWE phase where it was actually popular for a little bit, and then the Australian public very quickly, like the rest of the world, was like, okay, this is just getting a bit far and kind of witch hunty, and they just kept going with it for like another few years after that. And so that gave them like a really, really bad taste in the mouth of Australia. And so after a while, I don't know, I think just because they were just like high off their own power or whatever, and it didn't fucking matter because Toyota had still fund them, so who cares? At some point they realized, oh, I'm walking down the street and getting spat on. Maybe we should tone it down a little bit, yeah? And then it just moved into the teal phase. The last few years of the project have just been extremely tealy. It has been, that show should have just been renamed, What Does Malcolm Turnbull Think This Week? That was the show at the end. So it was just kind of like, you knew where their like, shitty cultural ideology was, But they kind of just started focusing more on I don't know, like, oh, Trump this week, he's very crazy, isn't he? That kind of stuff. Just stuff that your rich relatives in the eastern suburbs think. That's what that show became, which again, there's not that many people, which you can see on Twitter now, because you can see everybody on Twitter, the usual psycho suspects, the ones that are constantly at each other's throats. Everyone's dancing like it's the end of Return of the Jedi. Everyone's happy about this. And then you have a couple of boomers in there going, just think about the people that have lost their job. And I have thought about it, and it's made me even happier. So happy. Suck shit, Wally. Your fucking gravy train's at an end. Oh, good luck with your irrelevant shitty job at a university as a lecturer for one of those bullshit jobs that was just an extension of what you were on television, which was nothing. You were fucking nothing. You were just Malcolm Turnbull, the TV presenter. Nothing. Vacuous. All of you are awful people, and you can just see it. Like Steve Price getting interviewed on Kyle and Jackie O. How do you feel about it going off, mate? I'm pretty sad about the paycheck, frankly. You see any interview about everybody talking about it. Oh, I'm just so glad. Like this show launched so many careers in Australian television. That's all it was to these people. It was just a little leapfrog for their own job. But it's like, cool. But you really, really did damage public discourse in the process, you know? Like, the whole idea that every dumb shit has to this day of, like, what a quote-unquote leftist is, which, again, hate those phrases. So dumb. But it gave this false paradigm all across Australia of, yeah, like, there's, like, a pro-Labor outlet, which is the, Project. What the fuck? We've done so many videos over the years of them just the most unfair questions towards the Labor Party, endlessly just trashing the unions constantly, which is the entire design of the press. Yeah, the entire design of the press is to trash unions. That's it. But because they were sitting there and talking about, you should be like, there should be like more women in parliament, and that's like like we've got Nam in the bottom here. Like everyone just sat there and was just like, yeah, that's what the Labor Party is, purely because it wasn't as outright endlessly bashing them as the Sky News was. That was it. That was the only reason. So it gave like this completely false dichotomy there, despite the fact that I remember, and you can go back and watch one of our videos about this, but Waleed Ali, he made this incredible quote when the show first came out, where he was saying that, I just don't really have any views, frankly. I'm nothing. I'm a complete fucking vat, which is what he was. And this is the type of television show and the type of news that I am very glad is going out of fashion. You know, this sort of like just the most on the nose SJW-y shit, but at the same time just endlessly trashing anything that is pro-worker, anything that's really pro-environment. Remember that video that we showed of them talking about like the logging wars or whatever? And they were just actively taking the sides of the fucking loggers. Remember that? It's just a truly egregious show. Really bad. So I'm so glad that that's gone. What I'm very scared about is what they're replacing it with. Look at this shit. Behind the Lines, as revealed by, and I'm unironically saying this, which is really sad, the best news outlet in the country, the Daily Mail. It was just, look, there's just so many tits on the screen. This is the best. But look at this shit. Go behind the headlines with 10 News First as our reporters dig deep to uncover the facts, follow every lead and expose stories the others try to keep hidden. Yeah, I'm sure you will. I mean, who is dumb enough in this day and age to think that an outlet that is completely controlled by sponsors is going to bring the facts to light? You know, the facts, as long as Coles isn't sponsoring them that week and they don't fuck over Woolworths. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, honestly, I hate this whole thing of like, oh yeah, what we'll do is we'll try and get out an audience that is like boomers but younger. It's like, those people exist, but they're just not as mushy in the head as people that watch Current Affairs. You're not going to get away with that shit. It's just going to be a ratings bomb immediately. Or at the very least, that I hope it is, because, listen to this, continued on, hosted by Denham Hitchcock. Don't know who the fuck that is. This investigation series shines a light on the issues that matter to Australians, holding the powerful to account with fearless journalism. All the shitty buzzwords, which is what we've noticed. This has been the big cultural evolution in Australia. And if you're from a foreign audience, let me know if this same thing has happened. But last 10 years, there was woke. And everyone was just like, ugh. And then anti-woke. And it was like, yeah, this is just as fucked very quickly. And then there was kind of just nothing for a while. And then what seems to have replaced that is just the aesthetic of like, we're holding them to account. You can see it with all the whinge merchants that are developing online now. There's just always this thing of like, holding them to account. And really what that means is lying and just making up corruption scandals that don't actually exist. I mean, Shane Dowling, perfect fucking example of that shit. You know, this is what is emerging. Just inventing corruption where it isn't, to tarnish people's names unwillingly for like a cheap buck, which is obviously what these guys are going to do. They are not going to go after the big wigs. They are going to go after people that are safe targets, which usually means the fucking unions, let's be honest. And, you know, as we've shown before, sometimes the unions do have corruption scandals in them. Nowhere near as much as you'd find in their fucking sponsors, I can guarantee you that. Also, isn't it convenient that all of a sudden, all of these like online, you know, oh yeah, we're going to keep the bastards honest. And like this, now it's just getting reflected in commercial media, all the holding them to account. That comes in as soon as the Labor government's in. Like, where were you when there actually was a corrupt government for the last 10 years? Where the were you, Channel 10? Seriously. The reason that you didn't respond to any of this, the reason that you were just having this lighthearted jab at the news the whole time that there was actually corruption there, is because there was corruption there. And you're a bunch of pussies. And you're just there, clearly, as is reflected in statement after statement, for your own careers and advancement. Do you think that this is going to be any different now? No, it's just going to have the aesthetic of like, oh yeah, we're going to be shining a torch. Why? Because it's safe to do that now, because I'm looking in the tunnel and there's literally nothing there anymore. Thanks. Anyway, if you liked that, make sure that you celebrate by buying yourself a Kevin27 shirt, because it's coming back, the glory days. I'm telling you, 2025 has the same vibe as 2007. Just this very positive, what the fuck? I thought that existence was just externally bleak forever. Here we are, just this ray of hope, but it's just like, it's burning my eyes, it's too much hope. That's what's happening now. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll be back with some meaty shit tomorrow that's actually edited and thought. And this isn't all we do, but it's just, you're leaving us very little choice, Australia. You really are. I mean, we've already missed out on the fact that the Victorian Liberals are imploding and that Tasmania is forced to an early election. So I'm sorry, no, you. Actually, this is just going to be a slop channel from now on. There's too much slop. You may even get tired of slop, but I'm not.